Here we are. So, I'm Stephen Carlson. This is Working from the Heart. And today's topic is I feel like a slave to my work. I feel like a slave to my boss. You could even say that I feel like a slave to my client, my career, or my business. It doesn't matter. So, this was suggested by Joel. Great topic. Thank you very much. So, this month what we're doing is exploring a lot of the ideas, beliefs, and stories that limit us in our work, in our creativity, in our flow, in our intuitive knowledge. So, we're just going to explore this a little bit with the Sedona method. If you're not yet in a good place, you might want to pause the video, make sure that you're not going to be interrupted. And when you're ready, we'll get started. Take a breath and just allow yourself to be. And be. And be. So once again, the statement, I feel like a slave to my work, my boss, my career, my job, my business. Notice the implication behind the statement. If you're a slave, that means you're a victim. So this is a statement of victimhood. And just notice what comes up. Notice the thoughts, associations, feelings in the body. The body will resonate often with emotions. And of course, any images, sounds. Sometimes it comes like moving picture cinema. So just allow all of this to come up here. Give it permission to be like that. And check and see if this has stirred up any opposition, any no, I don't want to feel this. Any desire to push this away, figure it out, control it, any resistance. And just allow resistance to be for now. And check also, does this feel personal? Why wouldn't it feel personal? Okay, that's a first pass. So, what is victimhood? Victimhood, I wonder if you understand and sense that there's actually an advantage to victimhood. Victimhood takes you off the hook. You're no longer responsible. You can point your finger at somebody else, and that person then just becomes a focus of your resentment, hatred, anger. Whereas you are innocent, justified, in the right. And who's to say? Since you're the victim, isn't anything justified to you, the victim? So check and see that sense of victimhood. If that comes up for you, notice how that feels. We're going to go back and forth a bit with victimhood because this is worthy of exploration. Notice that sense, let's say, the heaviness of victimhood. Notice how it sits on you, victimhood. The seriousness, the weight. But notice also that within victimhood also lies, are you ready? Is it possible? Freedom. There's a sense of freedom in victimhood because you're off the hook. It's not your fault. You don't have any responsibility You're completely powerless. And within that powerlessness, notice that sense of freedom. It's a little bit imaginary, frankly, but there is a sense of it there. Might even feel just a little bit icky. Just notice what that generates, that sense of, I'm the victim, I am blameless. So let's go back and forth between these two polarities of victimhood. Notice the heaviness of victimhood, the tragedy, the weight. And then notice the secret victory of being off the hook, of being wronged. Notice how the moral weight sort of shifts to your advantage as a victim. Notice that. And once again, check for that weight of victimhood, that sense of heaviness, destiny, suffocation, that sense of being controlled. A little bit like a falcon, a bird of prey, with the hood over the head. And then check for that secret sense of liberation, victory, righteousness, self-righteousness. Right. So let's go back to that statement. I feel like the slave of my boss, career, job, business. You fill in the blank. I feel like a slave to work. And notice also, isn't that just a belief? Isn't that just... Is it something that you came up with? If you think so, have a look around. Isn't victimhood the most common thing these days? Isn't there actually, if you take a look around you, isn't there actually a competition for victimhood? I feel like a slave to my job, career, boss, to my work. Notice the sense in which that feels true. Notice the weight of that statement. Just allow that to be here. And welcome what comes just with, again, a little curiosity. Any images, sounds, memories. Any thoughts, stories unfolding. Or even just sensation in the body. For some of us, the body really is the first and sometimes the only place where these things register. And some of us are very mentally bound, and so that's where things appear. And it can also shift depending upon the situation. So just notice what's coming up and just allow that. Give it full permission. Turn towards it with curiosity just for now. And again, this is, for most of us, if not all of us, it's the last thing we want to do. So just take a breath and just as best you can allow all of what's here to be just like that. And now, if you're ready, could you just let that drop? Could you? And would you just let that fall away? So, when? Take a deep breath and notice what's here. Just check in with yourself and welcome up what is. And now let's check back and see how that statement feels. I feel like a slave to my work, boss, job, career, business. I feel like a slave. Notice how that feels. And check also, maybe that's shifted. Check and see. Is it still the same as it was when we started? Or has it shifted? Is it shifting? Take another breath and just let's see what comes up again. I feel like a slave. Whatever comes up, just let it be here. And check also for any judgment. Any sense that you shouldn't feel that way, or maybe you should feel this or that, or do this or that. Judgment. Because you're not doing it right, or you shouldn't do it, or this shouldn't be the way you feel. Whatever judgment comes up, just notice that and let it be here. And also any sense that you'd like to be in control of this. You'd like this to be different. Just allow that. And finally, any sense that this is about you. This is personal, part of the story. The very long-winded story, probably, like most of us. And now, if you're ready, let's ask the big question. Is any of this actually you? Are you these stories? Are you these thoughts? Are you sensations in the body? Or are sensations thoughts, feelings? Are these arising in awareness? Are you simply that which is aware of thoughts, feelings, stories, beliefs, sensations in the body, sense perceptions? Are you that which is aware? And notice how this feels. Allow yourself to rest a moment longer and allow all to be as it is. Thoughts, perceptions, sensations, stories. Allow all of it to be just as it is. And notice also, it's such a basic one to go to, courage. Notice that courage is here. If you've stuck around this long, that's courage. If you're checking in with yourself, that's courage. If you're facing this inward, if you're looking inward, that's also courage. Courage is present. Courage is here. Just notice it. It's not something that you have to call up. It's something that simply requires focus. So oftentimes, our quality of life is really just a question of where we direct our focus. So often we choose to focus on what's negative, what's wrong, what's uncomfortable. Nevertheless, at the very same split second, there's also the opportunity to focus on what's healing, positive. Courage. So just welcome and enjoy courage. And let that be your guide for now, courage. Courage, which is also, you may notice, the opposite of victimhood, right? So that's it for now. You can always go back to this video and watch it again to enjoy deeper and deeper layers of release. I look forward to your suggestions for further topics. Bye for now.